Ojo, or professor, is a professor, and he is also a son. Invite your friends, invite your not so friends, conduct your 2027 charade. So his name is Amupitan, right? Mr. Ojo, or professor, is a professor, and he is also a son. Prior to this, we've had people who have projected that those who are complaining that Tifnumbu is running a tribalized sort of like a government, appointing Yorubas, precisely Yorubas, to key positions. So when this space of INEC will become vacant, so there were those who expected Tifnumbu to go to North Central. Some were saying he could even just nominate Werewike or Sheyi, his son, or anybody, they don't care, as long as they conduct credible election. I'm like, what? That's contradictory, right? So others were like, it could go to Southwest. Southwest have never been, I've never occupied the position of INEC. In all of this, others believed that Tifnumbu should just go to the North Central. Me eavesdropping on the Ronukus, you know, well, like if the Arewans are complaining, lamenting that Tifnumbu is fixing Yorubas into key positions and all of that. And then these Ronukus are saying that Bokwari also did it. So they should do their worst. In fact, Tifnumbu should go and pick a Yoruba man to become the INEC chair. Now, I didn't pick them from Yoruba land, or should I say from the Southwest. So went straight to the North Central, where Mr. Ojo Amupitan is now the nominated. So Mahmudu Yakubu left 2 days ago, a month before the expiration of his 10 years or 2-term tenure, right? So Tifnumbu called for a Council of State meeting, where the former presidents, you know, governors, speakers, Senate president, and all of them like that were expected to attend, and the name was presented to them. So earlier, when they gathered, so let's start from that. So they said it was an hybrid meeting, meaning those who couldn't attend physically joined them virtually, including Abisalami and Babangida. But Obasanjo didn't show up and he didn't join them. Jonathan too, and even go on. However, Professor Ojo Amupitan was presented, and according to Koolu's media men, they said he was unanimously approved. So therefore, his name is then going to be forwarded there to the National Assembly, and he is expected to oversee your 2027 election. So would Koolu allow his nominee to actually really do his job, which is to make sure that your vote counts, at least like Jega did? I mean, or the scripts, which majority of you believe that has already been written. So it's only coming on to act the scripts. And as long as he stays on the script, he won't have any problem, I believe. So I have said this before. Your 2027 charade is for Koolu to lose. No, it's not for him to lose like that. I mean, it is of him to actually lose, which means in a rigged system like you have, the only way Tifnumbu could probably really lose is if he plays fair. And he's never won anything by playing fair. So now that he's actually like in control of everything. So what kind of pressure do you really think Onapi mounts, those of you who are preparing for the charade? Kind of amount of pressure do you think you can actually really mount to force the hands of, at least it should be a breath of fresh air, right? Or if you, by any chance, kind of like believe, right, that somebody chosen, nominated by Tifnumbu, is actually coming to come and give you free and fair election, just like that, I may possibly have this newly built airport that I want to sell somewhere in Ekiti. It's got beach as well. Just saying. Now, the politicians have had their first move, which means now the opposition would have to go and build their own strategy around whatever this INEC is bringing. And it's going to be very interesting going forward, right? The ex-convicts, what's his name again? Uzor Kalu, that's his name. I always kind of call him my ex, right? So Orji Uzor Kalu, the former Abia governor, by the way, was with Sheung Okimbaloye yesterday. That was, last evening, where they're having a chat about this year 2027 as well, general convo. Now, Uzor Kalu, who was convicted for looting, for corruption, for looting Abia State when he was governor, and then he got let off the hook on technical basis or so, right? And what was that technical reason? He was convicted of his crime. He was already in jail, right? Then they said, oh, the judge that gave the judgment, that sentenced him, was already transferred, that he shouldn't have probably be in charge of the case anymore. So therefore, on technical ground, they freed Uzor Kalu. Now, Uzor Kalu is pledging that the last time, 2023, Tifnumbu didn't win Abia simply because he didn't put his best. But this time around, he would deliver Abia for Koolu, and he will spend 5 months. He will be there 5 months before the elections, right? Simply because whatever it takes, Koolu has to kind of like spend his 8 years, whatever it takes. So Orji Uzor Kalu first.
Their job to go and do it. Give us an understanding of what you see for 2027. I see a lot of confidence. It's as if you people have written the result. The way you are so confident. It's 2 years away to the election, but you come with a lot of confidence. Tinubu is going to win. APC is going to win.
No. My confidence shows you because, like in Abia, for the first time, President Tinubu will win there. Because we are working very hard.
What gives you the confidence?
What gives you the confidence is interaction with the people.
Do you know the percentage of vote President Tinubu had in the whole of Southeast?
No, for what he had in 2023 is immaterial. I'm looking at the future.
And you and your friends in the APC want to deliver 100% to Bola Tinubu in Abia State.
No, listen to me, not 100%. President Tinubu is going to make inroad. Possibly in 2023, I didn't put all my best. In 2027, if God give me good health, as I am, I'll put in my best. I'll go there to live for 5 months. Mind you, in 2023, I just went there for 3 weeks and the election came. I'm going to be there for 4 months, 5 months, living in the place, campaigning every day and night.
And you think that will deliver Abia for APC?
It will deliver Abia to President Tinubu and for APC, yes.
Are you deceiving the president that you can deliver Abia?
Me deceiving the president?
Because
I don't need anything from the president to deceive him.
Look, as a political journalist, just for a moment, sir.
No.
Just for a moment,
No.
Look at the trend and the pattern, sir. Your party has done badly in the last 3 elections in the Southeast. Your party in the presidential election has not been able to pull any weight in the Southeast. So how come you want to win? Your party has not won any Southeast presidential election since 2015.
I'm not going to talk to you anyway. Mind you, my senatorial district, Buhari had 68%.
That's your senatorial district?
Yes, that's my senatorial. And President Tinubu is going to repeat the same thing. President Tinubu will have almost, if we work very hard with our people, we have almost the same 68-70% from the people of Abia State. Buhari had 68% because I sat down there and I campaigned day and night. In 2027, if God give me good health and give me the way it is, I'll be there to campaign for President Tinubu. I was telling you and you are arguing with me. I can take a bet with you, but I'm going to be there. You know how I campaign. That I go day and night. I go from morning till night, house to house, room to room. And he will win.
Yeah, it's interesting that politicians always like to take a bet on this program. Unfortunately, there's some people who have planned to go to court on my behalf. Someone has taken a bet like this on this program, and the person had eaten his words. In 2027, we'll see what happened.
That's Orji, Uzor, Kalu. They are always very confident, right? Until maybe something happens that truncates their plan, and then they turn it into probably like a mud fight, sort of. However, Orji, Uzor, Kalu, like others, right? It won't be the first time that they will go on TV, right, to pledge for this same APC, Egbekegbe, that is so obvious that the first set of people that rejected APC, Egbekegbe, are the people of the eastern part of Nigeria. To the point that the APC, Egbekegbe, actually believed that they deserve no single voice to demand for anything inside that contraption. For those of you who have been around for a while, oh, they always they are voting against them, forgetting. In fact, they even used this part that they never voted. They didn't vote for Tifnumbu because he's a Yoruba man. So when they now reminded them that, but Obasanjo was also a Yoruba man that got over 90% of their votes in 1999, in 2003. They said, no, Obasanjo is not a real Yoruba. Of course, he is not. So an average Ronuku Yoruba starts from Tifnumbu and stops with Tifnumbu. Anything outside that cycle is considered as anti-Yoruba, obviously. So they rejected Bokowari, but they voted for Yaradua. They rejected Ojukwu, but they voted for Obasanjo. And they seem to probably have been, when it comes to this your national elections, they seem to have been the ones who have been very consistent with their choices in this sense. And they seem to always have been very much right when it comes to all these choices, starting with Bokowari and Tifnumbu. So hopeless Uzor did it. We all know how it ended. Devulumayi, as loud as he is, all this, we all know how it all ended at the time. I even got extra clip there, right? Talking about the Igbos. Orji Uzor Kalu admitted and agreed that the Igbos have not been treated right, if we are being sincere when it comes to this their Nigeria project, by the way. However, he still believes that Tifnumbu has the magic wand to take care of the marginalization or every complaint of the Igbos, in his words, right? Uzor Kalu.
Yes. And be fair to all zones, and be fair and bring justice and equity. Nobody should be thinking about where the president comes from. What Nigerian people is asking for. Is
President Tinubu fair to your people?
Well, I'm not in position to say now. All I know, we are giving them whatever constitutional to say. When you are in position of authority, there are a lot of hits from everywhere. So President Tinubu is trying to address these issues.
But you don't think that the Igbos have been fairly treated just yet?
No,
since
after the Civil War, Igbos have not been fairly treated. I've told you this many times. I don't hide in saying it. Igbos have not been fairly treated in all over Nigeria. And I want Nigerians to know that they need to reabsorb the Igbos and play on the rules with the Igbos, the way it's supposed to play, so that everybody will be equal, that the country will develop. As long as you want to clamp down the Igbos, the country will find it difficult.
How do you think
we have a lot?
How do you think that the Igbos are being clamped down? Igbos, commerce-wise, upper hand; trade-wise, upper hand; economy-wise, upper hand. Igbos are literally in every nook and cranny of this country. Go to in the interior. You've lived in the northern region of the country. Go to the interior of Bauchi, the interior of Maiduguri, the interior of Sokoto, the interior of Katsina, Taraba. The Igbos are there. Anywhere you cannot find an Igbo man, be worried.
Nobody will live there. I agree with you. You see,
so how then is the Igbo man?
The sagacity of saying, "Oh, these Igbos," the comments discourage people. My children came back here, and when they went out to go around, they said, "Oh, the way they talk about Igbo people in this country." I said, "Well, that is what it is. Igbos have not committed offense. I have not committed offense. I didn't know how the Civil War started. I didn't know how it ended. And we should forget about that. Look at small Rwanda with all the hatred in that country. You can see the progress they have made. We should be able to leave this tribalistic something, leave religion, leave ethnic, leave the language I speak for
almost 50 years now.
After almost 50
you think that the Igbos are not forgiven or they are not
reabsorbed? No, they have not been forgiven.
How do you think we can correct this?
It's by being fair to everybody. But like you have tried to drag me to talk about the court of Justice Omotochi, I told you no, because it's not fair to talk about that court. I'm following the law.
What would be fair to be done to the Igbos that will make the Igbos think that they are
just rehabilitate them and put them as a part of the country?
How?
Which President Tinubu is trying to do now. Bring them back.
He's trying to do, but he has not done it.
No, he's doing it. I mean, our roads are improving, our everything are improved on the way, unlike the way they were left before. Before, nobody talks about the express road. Look at it. Done the Port Harcourt express. We're going to Port Harcourt during the Enugu Black Panther Express Road. Is doing a lot of roads in our area, a lot, and a lot of investment that President Tinubu is doing, particularly in my state.
Do you think that this issue that you are saying, this marginalization or not being unfair, do you think a lack of trust? Do you think it's one of the reasons why an Igbo man has not been Nigerian president since 1999?
I might think so. Not only 1999, because you see, the country have grown so large that it will be difficult to break the country. People have intermarried, people have done investment, people have done all kinds of things. When you watch Mission, you watch, I will use Ejiba Football Club to always give you example. When I was governor, the Ejiba Football Club was there. We never pattern on anything that is not the best. You see, the left foot back, Shawu, Mohammed, Okafor, Ekpenyong, everybody. I used the best 11 to achieve what Nigeria wanted to do. And that is my belief. That is what is in my head. And I believe that every Nigerian have a role to play. And Igbo should not be demonized. So only Igbo, this, all kinds of names. My children were so upset the day when they went to Musa Market. And we cannot...
You think that Igbos are seen as second-class citizens in this country?
Well, whether they are or not, I don't feel so. It's not written on me.
And that's why your ambition of wanting to be president, you still have that ambition.
I still have the ambition. I'm competent to be president of Nigeria.
Are you
very competent?
But it's not in 2027.
No, it's not. I'm supporting President Tinubu.
So imagine if a Southerner becomes president in 2027, that's after 4 years, and I'm imagining now you as a grandfather now, by the time...
Yes.
Is the one Nigerianist Igbo, who ordinarily they know what Nigeria, the Cold War that Nigeria seems to be having with the Igbos, which people like him are sort of like empowered, okay, to possibly neutralize that impression by, you know, trying to downplay it. Yeah, but we need to, yeah. You get that now? That we have done everything, or we have not done anything wrong. They're supposed to admit us, but we know that they are still not. Hate the effort of people like this for years that they have been in politics, in national politics. And people like him, when I say people like, I mean, they are, you know, leading political figures who have friends all over the place, you know, in the north, in the west, all those places, right? They have friends all over the place. But yet, they have not made any impression on the rest of their fellow political class from the other part of Nigeria to impress on them that they represent the true, proud Igbos who are worthy enough to be trusted or entrusted with the leadership of the country. So they put a ceiling. It's like putting a ceiling on some people and say, no, you can't go beyond this. Any attempt after that is a sacrilege. That is why Peter Obi is considered as, you know, a big, what do you call it? A big bad business when it comes to the political class. They don't support him. And they have their reasons like that because they would rather wait for probably their masters to say, okay, you know what? Orji, you're going to be president next. Ah, really? Ah, thank you. You know, rather than for any Igbo person to aspire to that level, be so ambitious and so disruptive of the political space, like Abia and his obedient did. It's right to say. I think it still does. Sheung was asking him about Obi. But Sheung is, you know, Sheung can be very petty and sometimes, right, out of place. Watch this.
By the time another Southerner will get a chance, that will be in another 12 years. 12 years plus your age now. You'll be in your 80s.
No, I'm 65.
Yeah, for 12 plus 12.
What will I be?
You'll be like 78 or close to 80.
President Trump is 79.
So you still can be president.
Yes, of course. If I'm healthy, if God give me life and good health. The question is not age. The question is competency. What is in my brain I need to deliver? It's not when or where. It is how ready you are.
You think that the Igbo should support Peter Obi? Maybe the aspiration of an Igbo man.
Let me be honest with you. I'm a member of APC, and I don't want to discuss Peter Obi. I've told you this before in this channel. I don't want to discuss Peter Obi for any reason. Not for anything, because I don't want to discuss him. You can ask me about the leader of my party, I will answer you. Whether the question is right or wrong, I will answer you.
Each time I mention Peter Obi, you become suddenly uncomfortable.
No, because I don't want to discuss him. I've told you before, Sean.
Yeah.
Any day you want to discuss Peter Obi with me, give us 2 hours. You be in the model. Keep him there and keep me here. And we'll be able to sort it out. This is what
Peter Obi, he wasn't even your generation of governor.
No.
He wasn't your class of governor. All of a sudden, does it look because he's now looking like a leader of the Southeast?
No.
Politically speaking.
It's not my leader. It's not my. I am the most important politician from that zone. I have won 2 states before of PPA. I have run for president before. My 4.9 million vote is still there. It's 2007. And we achieved a lot with PPA. We had ministers, we had ambassadors, we have all kinds of appointments with President Yaradua. And you cannot be telling me anybody can run for president. But what I want to tell you, I want you to discuss issues that concern.
Because I mean, Peter Obi seems to be the most popular Igbo man.
No, why don't you
politically speaking?
No, you are making it. If you're in Labour Party, keep it to yourself.
Who?
You.
I'm not a politician.
No, listen to me.
By the time another.
Orji Uzor Kalu is the most important politician from the eastern part of Nigeria. I don't think some of you who are Easterners will completely agree with that. Would you? Agree that the ex-convicts, somebody who was supposed to be wearing orange jumpsuit, is putting on a suit, fancy suit, seated there as the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, a leader of thought. I don't think many of you will probably agree, the Easterners, like say, oh, he's the most important. But that's the delusion that the criminal politicians live. You see, Anthony Eze, Baba, he said, God forbid, in the era, even jobless. Princess, you are here with us tonight. Hi. This must be something that you couldn't really ignore. A notification you got that you couldn't ignore. How did we manage to hold you down tonight? Anyway, Orji Uzor Kalu is dedicated. He has actually really earned a lot from it too. He's made so much money. And he didn't start today. Okay? So he's one of the Babangida boys. For those who knows very well, by the way. He's been very, very rich since the 90s. I've just been the Babangida errand boys and all of them. And we all know what that meant, by the way, right? So Orji Uzor Kalu, despite that, when they were giving their closing speeches and all that in the last Senate, it was the same guy that reminded everybody that despite all his dedication, they still sent me to jail. You remember that video?
Those that put me in prison know the reason they put me in prison. They took over all my businesses and want to kill me. But I survived it. I'm in the Senate with you people. It's not the end to what we have done. It's not the end to United Nigeria. It's not the end to Brother Skipper. But these senators I called were with me. I never lacked. When the PDP that I was governor for 2 terms was being formed, I brought every money they used in forming that party. Every penny in 1997 and 98. And I later became a thief. And people I gave transport money from my house in VI became angels. This is what Nigeria represents. I want to thank my colleagues for giving me these 4 years of uninterrupted support. Because this country is not fair to so many of us. I built this country, I employed 13,800 workers. People employing nobody, and nobody asked them their source of wealth. I have 3 factories in Lagos, Nigeria. I have 2 factories in Ota. Built manufacturing. I have 3 factories in Abia, manufacturing, and I'm a thief. And people that cannot explain where their source of wealth come from, they are not thieves. I leave everything in the hands of God.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the 3 of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
Part of what I have to say. Orji Uzor Kalu stole 12 billion naira when he was governor of Abia State, and he was convicted for it. He should be wearing an orange suit, jumpsuit, you know that one, with sheke in his hand. And possibly the only interview that Orji Uzor Kalu should be granting is the interview when he is apologizing to the people of Abia State for what he himself, as well as his successor, Theodore Orji, what they did, and then his own successor as well, that one where they share kerosene, what they did to the Anambra people in 24 years. But no, he's still there, speaking on behalf of not just the Anambrarian, not just the Abians, he's also speaking on behalf of the Easterners for these same oligarchs. Because one day, maybe, just maybe, the fit talk say, okay, may Congo be president. Okorocha comes to mind. He was asked about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he dodged it, by the way. He dodged it. He said, you know what? They have not been really fair to the Igbos, and this marginalization continue to push agitations and the rest of that. But I don't want to talk about it. I like the rule of law. No. 2 days ago, which was probably less than 48 hours ago, Omoyele Sowore called out and said, there should be a consensus, sort of like a mobilization or a protest to demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He called on all these political figures from the eastern part of Nigeria. He called on Atiku, Obi, the state governors, and the Igbos, everyone who stands for the what they call it, fundamental human rights and all that, should join, and the date has been picked. Since then, Sowore has been coming under different attacks, and I have to say, shockingly, to start with, when Atiku, because Atiku actually responded straight up and said, yeah, and it won't be the first time. In 2024, the same Atiku actually demanded for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, or better still, the government should stop playing this hide and seek, keeping him all these delay tactics, okay? Adjournment, and all this nonsense. You want to try him for anything? Try him, and let's see the end. The court said you should let him go. You use your compromised, judiciary to manipulate the whole thing in order to still keep him in detention, to start a retrial, to order for a retrial. So Atiku has been receiving his own attacks too. Surprisingly, these attacks are commonly coming from, few groups like that. We have seen some of you obedient who have been abusing, attacking Sowore and all of that. We have seen some of you who claim to be, Biafran advocate or advocates or something like that, attacking him, abusing him, calling him names. For the Arewans, the closest jihadists from northern Nigeria, their old meltdown on Atiku's page is even legendary. Baba, I saw this closest jihadist attacking Atiku, calling Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist who's preaching. They said his preachings indoctrinated some of their people in northern Nigeria, that they were ready, they were planning to attack their leaders in the north as well. So that now Atiku is asking for that person to be released. Hello. I know some of you are pretty much like cherry pickers. People, one thing about injustice, right, is that it doesn't discriminate. And that is why when you see injustice, the right thing to do is to confront it before you become a victim too. Nigeria is a place where the injustice is the only thing that is so democratized, right? Everything else is marginalized. But the injustice in Nigeria, which cut across everywhere. And when you see yourself in the frame of things, you should never, right, wishes that the same system that you are trying to change, the same system that you are complaining about, the same system that everyone is tired of, the same system that is haunting those they tagged as their enemies, right? So the same system that you are trying to change, okay, is speaking on people who are also trying to change the system in their own way or demand for something better. Like you are demanding for something better. Okay, you disagree with this one, you disagree with that one. So the injustice from these rogues, from these criminals in power, picking these carefully selected adversaries, because they've called them adversaries and they've tagged them that use the instrument of the state to try to want to crush them. Unfortunately, it's taking longer than they probably envisaged, right? So if you want a better Nigeria as obedient, okay, ordinarily you should be moved. You should be angry. That's one thing or two things. If Nnamdi Kanu had committed any crime for real, it won't take 5 years, it won't take 10 years to actually prove that, Abi. So you as a person, you can tell that there is law. There is also rules of law. Rules of law means that if law says, if you have committed this, and that, and they have the evidence against you, they take you to court immediately, faster judicial process. You convict a person. If they disagree with that judgment, they appeal. And all of this could be concluded in months. But that's not what they are doing. The intention is to keep him or possibly even kill him. And they want everything they accuse him of to be believed by you. Meanwhile, they are in court. Court is where you can present all of that, all those incriminating evidence, and to jail this person. But they don't have that. The second one is that if they cannot try him, if they cannot do that, then they should let him go. Those are the two options, whether you like him or not. Even if you want him convicted, killed, they are in court, Abi. So the right thing is what? Not to play these delay tactics, delay, adjournment, and all this nonsense, which is deliberate. That's what people are asking for. If you can't do that, then let him go. The same criminals are negotiating with the real terrorists who are wielding different weapons, terrorists who are actually killing people every day, sending people out of their communities, which you are seeing the videos every day. They are comfortable showing them on TV, on NTA. NTA Nigeria will be showing the peace meeting of terrorists with their weapons and their bikes and all of that. This is that Nigeria. So October 20, 2025, there could be something huge, massive, never seen before that will hit Abuja. And you are likely going to see, again, the never seen before kind of securities that will be pulled out that day, because it seems to have begun already, just so you know. And Showore, the reason for that is this, which he once said, by the way, Show.
Well, what you must know is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that. If you mention his name in certain circles, they don't want to hear it because they feel like he threatens the real estate called Nigeria. And his Igbo makes it worse because Nigeria's DNA hates the Igbo for attempting, in the 60s and, towards the end of the 70s, to leave a country they said is no longer favorable to their existence. But I keep saying, and I will repeat here again, is there any Nigerian out there in their majority who has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? Not many. That's why people are living in droves. Each time you get on a plane leaving this country is full, each time it's coming back, probably full too, but it is those who are coming back to pack their things that are coming back. That's the way I describe it. But the truth is that Nnamdi Kanu has been held hostage. He was abducted from Kenya, extraordinary rendition. The fact that he's kidnapped from Kenya could not be explained shows that any judicial pronouncement or processes after that is null and void. You cannot go and kidnap somebody and bring them before a court. And the courts have made it very clear, even up to the Supreme Court, that he did not jump bail. It was the military that went to his house to kill people, and then he escaped. And now you have brought him back, you ought to respect and restore his bail. That's what I told his lawyers. Why are you applying for bail again? Because the Supreme Court made all the pronouncements except releasing him. And I think it was because they were afraid. And that's why I say he's a hostage to this country. And like you rightly said, there are other people who have made even more egregious pronouncements and fought and carried arms in this country. And you have not treated them the same way because they're not Nnamdi Kanu's, their name don't sound East. And I'm not here to fetish being able. But the reality is that they are not treated fairly. And Nnamdi Kanu is part of the reason why that is clear to everybody.
Right.
And by the way, I must also reveal here that there are some Igbo elites who are behind this. Whenever there's a crime of conspiracy against freedom fighters, there are people inside and outside who are working together. Well,
absolutely. And here is one of them, a very known face, Devil Umahi.
If anybody is telling you about Biafra, first and foremost, I've been saying it, Chief Elechi said it, Ebonyi State will never be part of Biafra. We are not Biafra. We've been so oppressed, and now we are finding our feet, and you want us to go back. We will not. We are begging for anybody.
So the valid argument of an average Biafran of being excluded from this project like Nigeria, right, is being invalidated by these selfish, self-centered criminal politicians. And that's why I told you that if you are so enraged, as much as you probably have this personal, whatever, enragement in you as an Igbo person against the Hausa Fulani, as you have been made to probably see it that way, right? The real enemy of Biafra are the Igbo politicians. They are the ones who feel so intimidated about this Biafran struggle because they are not the ones leading it. It is like that of Fetifnumbu in Yoruba land. The only time you are going to see them talk passionately about Yoruba is when they want to use it to push a political agenda for their own interest. The moment they get what they want, Yoruba is not that much. We are now, everybody is the same. Similarly with that, the Igbo politicians, if they complain about marginalization, the Igbos this, the Igbos that, it's because they want to use it to negotiate for something that is meant for them, not for the Igbo people. After that, no, we are Nigerian. We are all of us, we are united. We are fine. But when they don't get what they want, they will play the card and push it. So to them, Nnamdi Kanu, controlling that massive movement in Igbo land and outside Igbo land was a total red flag. So they unleashed everything they have on him, including proscribing IPOB. I don't know if some of you remember that it was the Igbo governors that first proscribed IPOB before Boko Haram did. Yeah, they were the ones who is this Devuluma. They read the whole thing. They said federal government should come because IPOB is now proscribed in Igbo land. So it was after that that Buhari proscribed IPOB and then sent the soldiers, the military down to the east. Everyone they had any form of political misunderstandings with the communities, they have this political misunderstanding and all of that. They will send their military there and said they are the IPOB base. That place is IPOB base. But do you understand what IPOB was back then? It was that massive that they were having what do you call it, communal meetings. Like you always have your political meetings every Sunday in Nigeria or every week in Nigeria. They will meet, discuss issues concerning their did I pronounce that right? Which is their kindred and all of that. The one that concerns the entire country of their Biafra and all that, right? They will discuss this peacefully. Everybody will make suggestions. They will make contributions. They will do things in a way that communities should. All over the eastern part of Nigeria, what they didn't have there was political flags that they would want them to have. Well, some of you wanted them to have. So the Igbo politicians wielded everything in them to get Nnamdi Kanu killed and possibly anything that has to do with Biafra. So that's why I continue to call that guy Devulumai. And guess what? This is what they wanted to kill. And still trying. That's what they have been trying to kill. I know a lot of you have your own impression, which is a media-fueled impression. But it's something you should know that when the name Nnamdi Kanu is sort of like pronounced, there are millions for real who religiously believed him. When Nnamdi Kanu started the Biafra radio, teaching, speaking, teaching and all that, initially they thought, those in government, they actually thought probably was just another ranter on social media or just on this random guerrilla radio. Then it became a thing until when they realized that the number of the millions of people that his voice commands, and when people started talking about him, what they are willing to do, what they are, how far they were willing and ready to go on his command. But it was this, he's a very smart guy. As others were saying they are ready to, there was never a time, right, that he incited them to go after anybody. Rather, when he had the opportunity of meeting these criminal politicians, categorically presented an 11-point demand. 11-point demand that has nothing to do with him, but everything to do with Igbo land. Something that ordinarily should have been the priority of these criminal politicians. Rather, they conspired. He told them, put together your own security. It's going to get bad. These Fulani terrorists are going to come around. their leaders who will be in power, they are going to do everything to protect them. You will watch your people killed, displaced by this Janjaweed. That's what it loves to call them. Janjaweed. The Fulani Janjaweed. They heard all of that. God knows what was going on in their mind. They said, yes, we're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to work on it. And then this agitation for Biafra thing will now probably like reduce so that Nigeria can see that the leaders of the Eastern Nigeria, they are solving the problem. Rather than do that, they conspire to get him killed. You know the story. They conspire to get him killed. He suggested the Eastern Security Network to them. They tore the paper and they went on to start what they call the Ebubeagu. And they've created other different militia groups in the eastern part of Nigeria right now in the name of trying to combat insecurity. The region is militarized from the days of Bokwari, because that was what these criminal politicians wanted, your governors. Let him go and watch all, Nnamdi Kanu, by his own truth, he will first expose the criminals that the politicians are sponsoring in the eastern part of Nigeria in a few days. Then after that, he will declare his own war on them, because it's more or less like he knows how much damages these rogues have been used to cause against the struggle. So politicians will want him out. Politicians that are negotiating with a terrorist, right? And you, the Amugus, who have a way of thinking that anyone that you possibly think you have no similar political ideology with deserves wherever comes their way. And what you don't understand is that when they take this one out, take that one out, right? They are actually neutralizing the rest of you. Because by the time it is your turn, you may not even have that majority anymore. Things are getting to that stage in Nigeria right now with these criminals and their state capture tendency, right? It's more or less like whatever you are experiencing in their hands right now, it is just probably like a preamble, so to say. So criminals who are negotiating with the terrorists are telling you that with their trumped up charges and the rest, releasing Nnamdi Kanu is going to affect you. The question is how? Anyway, Falana had this to say on the same issue.
Nnamdi Kanu was in court today.
Was what?
Was in court today. So we really want to know what's your position?
His case is pending in court.
Yes.
I cannot comment on pending proceedings. Okay. I cannot comment on pending proceedings. You understand me? Because like you said, the case was in court today. All I can do for me is that is a matter that should be sorted out outside the courtroom. For me, it's a political case. Yeah, and if you have a situation where some governments are negotiating with bandits or the criminal elements, I mean, there can be no basis for not having that matter resolved politically. I decided to pay a courtesy call on the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Orji, who actually used to be my comrade. We maintained a relationship, and it wouldn't be proper if I didn't inform His Excellency that I'm in his state. As they say in my place, you don't pass through the Oba's palace without without paying your obeisance. You know, I just came to let the governor know I'm down, and then we had cause to discuss a couple of things. Well, I've been coming here since the inauguration of the civilian government since 1999.
And I can say without any fear of contradiction that I've seen signs of governance, which was not there before. I've seen evidence of physical development. I've also spoken to people. It's not enough to go around and see physical development without finding out from the people how they are faring. And I've had very positive comments from the people. And so part of my discussion with His Excellency is how to intensify these efforts and ensure that the people remain the center of the administration. The people must benefit from dividends of democracy. And that is the best measurement. I've gone around, I've seen gurus, seen good schools, hospitals. And I am very confident that the governor can do much more than he has done. And he owes some of us a duty, right, to ensure that it does not disappoint the people. And some of us will not spare him if he does disappoint the people. Yep.
Imagine the Kalu was in court today.
Was what?
Was in court today. So we really want to know what's your position?
His case is pending in court.
Yes.
I cannot comment on pending proceedings. I cannot comment on pending proceedings. You understand me? Because like you said, the case was in court today. All I can do for me is that is a matter that should be sorted out outside the courtroom. For me, it's a political case. Yeah, and if you have a situation where some governments are negotiating with bandits or the criminal elements, I mean, there can be no basis for not having that matter resolved politically.
Imagine the Kalu.
Because it's obviously political. And at the same time, it also carried an unfinished sort of like a business for those who saw an opportunity to wipe off the Igbos from Nigeria map, the likes of Bukwari. When they said the war was over, no winner, no vanquish, the likes of Bukwari probably felt so disappointed because when he became your president again, he threatened to wipe the dot out of the circle because the Igbos are just like dot in the circle, all because of this Nnamdi Kanu. So it is kind of like carried over hatred for somebody who has carried a generational hatred for some God knows reasons, right? And he thought probably he could do that that he couldn't do. He did try. Were hundreds of innocent young men and women that were killed by the Nigerian military in the eastern part of Nigeria, especially in the last 7 years. You get that now? While thousands have gone missing, some have been thrown into different jails all over the country without any court trial, any court appearance, or what have you. That's why we call it a systemic kind of like a profiling of the Igbos, that if you are not an Igbo person and you are not probably self-aware enough, you are likely never even going to see it. Rather, you can join the bandwagon of those who are pushing their further tribal, ethnic, rivalry and all that, or ethnic hatred. That being said, the people of a plateau, just yesterday, the National Assembly of Nigeria, they were debating this topic of, is there any Christian persecution going on in Nigeria? Is there Christian genocide going on in Nigeria? The answer is yes. And they are saying, no, it's not just the Christians. The Muslims are also being killed, which is also true. So therefore, we can say there is a terrorist genocide going on in Nigeria, where Nigerians are being killed in their tens and hundreds by these marauding terrorists. So the National Assembly of Akwabiole are considering going to the United States of America to meet with the U.S. Senate and put up a position, okay? But they are also personally kind of convinced that the increased insecurity in Nigeria in the recent times is possibly due to some opposition figures who want to use insecurity to discredit Tinubu so that they could take power like they did in 2015. So that's kind of idea with no real backing, no proof or anything at all, by the way. They are riding on that, and they are convinced that number one, they've denied it's not happening. Therefore, it is not that severe or serious as the Americans want to make it. Okay. So then number two, if we are all agreed that some people are doing all of this, then that means we know why they are doing it. We shouldn't bother ourselves, okay? So we are just going to make sure that they don't win power, sort of. So again, nothing will be done. And nothing done is the reason why the victims of these terrorism attacks, right, who have continued to share their experiences, their losses, most of the time immediately after they happen. Documenting all of this gives credence or credibility to the figure that there is a Christian genocide going on. It's the jihadists that are killing people, the ones that they continue to call bandits. They are not bandits. These are armed Fulani terrorists. So it is the job of the government, by the way, if the politician says, oh, this possibly is being sponsored by some people to discredit Tinubu. Now, in order not to get Tinubu discredited, what would be the right thing? Pick up those people. There is a chance that the insecurity will probably begin to subside slowly until it is over. So you can't tell people that, oh, we suspect this, and at the same time, work with the theory and say, oh, there must be some people, but we do everything to make sure that they don't take over this country. What are you talking about? Get rid of these people. In Plateau State, yeah, these people have come out again to say, listen, our murderers are not just working alone. And this information itself is probably not new. It's actually not new, okay? And that is, we've had instances. Yes, we've had eyewitnesses who have said that sometimes before an attack is carried out on a particular community, there will be some strange movements, that will be observed in and around the area. And sometimes it includes the withdrawal of the military or the soldiers that are stationed close to the area. They will be withdrawn. Then another thing is they could see helicopter flying over their area. And then they will just they will see it far away in places where they personally believe that the terrorists are camping. You get that now? So then stuffs are being dumped for them. There are people suspected to be arms that are being supplied there to these terrorists. All these eyewitnesses, all this information are meant to help the local, and so are meant to help the security officials, right? But I don't think they've ever been put to use, which continue to show to us that these terrorists in Nigeria wouldn't actually have this long mileage if they didn't have the compromised security officials, government officials who have made it easier for them this long. But the victims, the list keeps growing.
Sir, yesterday I spoke bitterly at Kubon, a village in Boy district, because of the killings These people came and they killed 7 people. What actually pains us most is it has already been in record that the Moravul man has never attempted attacking a person. We have never done that. We've been piping our youths. And indeed, the Moravul man is a law-abiding person. Yet, these people, they are persisting. What actually is paining us most is when our youth, stand to defend, to react, the security personnel are fighting us. They are fighting us. Most of the casualties in the hospitals, they were injured by these soldiers. I don't actually know. Have they come to secure the life of people or to fight the people? Knowingly that the Fulani man is the man that is always attacking us. They knew and they have done nothing about it. Besides that also, I want to say this to your hearing, Commissioner of Police. Hear this very, very well. The people used to come with sophisticated weapons. Sophisticated weapons. I have an exhibit of what happened. What is this? What color? Which color is this? Is this not army green? This is what they use. But when our boys will stand with their local, I say local, just local made gun to protect their land, your people will fight them and will also collect it. We are bitter about that one. We are bitter about that one. And so we want to say this categorically, that if these people will not, if they will not support us, if they will not support us, please clear them away. What happened at Yambas? What happened at Yambas? The soldiers were sending our youth away, and the Fulani people were burning our houses, and they didn't stop them. And they just stood, and they allowed them to burn our houses. Nothing was done about that. Sir, enough is enough. What this woman have just said, I want to emphasize on that. People saw it. After the killings, the soldiers brought 3 hillocks and they convey all the Fulani man back. How do we interpret that? That is our grievances. Thank you for coming, creating your time to come.
The man was addressing the police commissioner, by the way, so that you don't think he's just talking to camera at a protest ground. Oh, no. He was speaking directly to the commissioner of police, explaining everything you heard there. The role of the military. Compromised military. Firing at the people in order to chase them away. The terrorists, Fulani terrorists came in. They said their homes are ablaze. In a country that has government, man, they've got local government, chairman. They have a state governor. They've got state assembly representative. They've got national assembly representatives. And all these things are happening. But none of them could actually really say it as it is, confront it, because they may lose their political seat. I mean, those are eyewitnesses. This is not just something that Maiyegun is making up. Oh, Maiyegun is just making it up. I'm not making things, so I don't make things up. And I want to joke. It's not even like a make-up joke. I mean, made-up joke. That's not joke. This is the everyday experience of an average Nigerian who are at the cross line of this Fulani terrorism. And yet you will still see state government organizing peace talk with terrorists who didn't come to surrender weapons. They came to come and have a chat so that the community will agree to their terms which includes giving them money every month for security. In northern Nigeria now, some of the areas where these terrorists have taken over, people have been subjected to paying them a special tax, which is for their protection if they don't want to be attacked or kidnapped. And that is the graveyard peace that APC, Ebekebe, have been promoting in Nigeria to shield these terrorists from the real prosecution. They continue to come down, even in Kwara. The whole story about Kwara and the reactions that followed. You will think that's it, but that's not it. One was talking in the National Assembly yesterday.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Saliu Mustafa, representing Kwara Central. I want to lend my voice to this urgent debate on the floor today, ably moved by Senator Lola Ashiru, who happens to be my colleague, my brother from the same state. I represent Kwara Central, he represents Kwara South. Sir, if anything happens in Kwara South or Kwara North, it's as good as happening in Kwara Central, because we are from the same state and our people are interwoven. There is no gainsay here to say maybe it's affecting Kwara South, so it doesn't bother me. No. We are interwoven in so many aspects, and that is how it also extends to the other parts of the country. We've had series of complaints, debate, concerns over insecurity in this country. I think, sir, it is time we stop all the rhetorics and all hands must be on deck. Be you in government, be you outside government, the security of lives and properties in one way or the other will definitely affect you. So we must not play politics with it. All we should do now is to try and see how solutions can be profiled, especially also putting the nation, our leaders in prayers, because any bad decision taken by leaders in government will definitely affect all of us. So it's not time to blame anybody. For me, banditry, kidnapping, we must categorize them as criminal activities. There is no religion, there is no tribe, there is no ethnicity that abhors this. Anybody caught should be dealt with as a criminal. If we approach it from that angle, without sentiment, without emotion, I think we will go a long way in resolving these issues. The security agencies are doing their best. We must applaud them. The president is doing his best. Those of us here too are doing our best in trying to oversight and make sure the voice of our people are heard. So we should please put all hands on deck and address this thing as criminal activities. Thank you, sir.
Obviously, or could you make any sense out of all he said? The contribution, our people, he admitted there's these killings, my people in Kwara. Okay, so all these people killing my people, I want us to leave emotion and just call them criminals. Are you mad? They are not just criminals. These are terrorists. Why is it so difficult for them to actually call them terrorists? People who are detonating bombs, they are planting landmines, they are driving the seized military armored personnel carriers, they are shooting automatic rifles. Baba, these guys are shooting anti-tank weapons and anti-tank gun. That if you are driving a tank, they They have guns that will penetrate the metal, the web iron, everything. It will enter everywhere. People will get RPG. Guys who have the power to shoot down military jets. All these things I'm saying to you, they have used, they have done, they've displayed them, we've seen them online. So don't tell me government don't know. Normally you would think, okay, the security architecture of a country in this instance, so, okay, me, I am not a security expert, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. The Fulani terrorist, the Boko Haram terrorist, ISWAP, and every other terrorist that is operating in that contraption. Wouldn't it be better if this intelligence community, they call themselves, okay, like the Dokwe Stupid Service, DSS, NIA, DIA, don't ask me for their meanings. They have all these funny titles. Secret guys. Their job is to sniff around, look around for something that they believe is probably, anti-government or anti-country. They're supposed to be about the country, right? So imagine if they actually spend their time to monitor the movement of terrorists. Do you get what I mean? Like, you don't just place soldiers everywhere, okay? Just zombies who are waiting for order. No, you monitor the movement of terrorists as they are moving. You get to know that, okay, they've moved. This is their number and all of that. We're going to round them up when they get to that particular spot. And then you corner them, finish them. Use your own resources. Is that something too hard? Like, if you have a security system that is not compromised, not corrupt with religious, tribal, and all this nonsense stuff that they have used to polarize the system, sure you get. Is that not practical? I mean, is that not practical? To soak and monitor the terrorists too. And then you corner them before they strike. But no, the terrorists have become so established that they have camps. Yeah. They are not moving. Their boys just go on. They will go and commit their crimes and they will come back to base. But they have camps. They said that to the military. Nigerian military, Nigerian security guys, they have been to the camp of the terrorist leaders led by Sheikh Osama bin Gumi. You know that guy? Sheikh Osama bin Gumi knows the location of this site. They are not really moving. And they go there to negotiate with them. So the intention is actually to end the terrorism. Do you get me now? Monitoring their movement and everything, their base and all that, isn't that going to be like easier than for them to be playing defensive? Because that's what Nigerian military, Nigerian army, that's what they are doing. They are playing defensive. When the terrorists come, you wait for our order. If you don't receive the order, don't fight. So when the terrorists come, if they are not coming for you, just leave them. If they are coming for you, you can run. And I'm saying this because we have seen it happen. Do you get me now? So compromised security system makes the business of terrorism flourish. So those who have taken these decisions, are they dumb enough to find that hard to see through, right? Or they are just accomplices? So I'll go with the latter. However, on this false theory, the likes of Papa Biole, who is the Senate president of the contraption, also went on a wild goose chase on this allegation of Christian genocide in Nigeria. In order to deny it, they created their own imaginary scenario and they are just running with it. Akpabio said that there must be some people who went to go and live to America about what is going on, and we need to listen.
Somebody suggested that we ought to have gone into executive session to discuss this, but I don't think we can win. No group can win any discussion on this because it depends on the state you are looking at. If terrorism occurs in a Christianly dominated state, most people that will die there will be Christians. If it occurs in a Muslim-dominated state, most of those who will die there will be Muslims. But if it occurs particularly in the North Central, you will notice that it will be targeted at maybe churches because that is what they are able to get. And then at the end they will say, oh, it's Muslims that kill Christians. If it happens in Kano or Borno, they will say Christians kill Muslims. So the way the whole situation is that we still need to go into executive session and get a date for our security summit so we can have close discussion on these matters. What is happening in the United States is of concern to Nigeria. It's of concern to the Christians, it's of concern to the Muslims. Because the moment they bring sanctions will breed poverty. Poverty knows no religion. So for me, engagement will be the best. So when we go into executive session, we can decide to set up a small ad hoc committee to go to United States of America and engage our colleague parliamentarians there. And then to also educate them. Because if you see what these people are doing, most of them are outsiders. When they come and start spraying bullets from GP, what do you call it, or they throw rocket, they are not throwing rocket into the crowd targeting a particular religion. They are killing Nigerians. I don't know who will now go and sit down and bring out maybe the dead bodies and say, this one is a Christian, this one is from this family, this must be a Muslim. So we are facing a situation whereby these terrorists are trying to terminate the lives of Nigerians. And then, of course, frustrate us from going into the farms, producing food to feed ourselves. So this discussion will be better in a closed session. And I think at the end of the day, we should actually have a small team that should visit our colleagues and also put the other side. Because some people must have gone there to give a one-sided story. And at the end, it will now look as if only Christians are being killed by terrorists in Nigeria. But I can tell you that a lot of Muslims have lost their lives in the last 5-10 years. The same way Christians have also lost their lives. So my personal opinion is that Nigerians have lost their lives as a result of insurgencies, banditry, and others. So if you look at what is happening in the Southeast, predominantly Christians, most of those that are killed in the Southeast, including the late husband of our demised icon, Dora Akunyili, the way the man was shot dead and everything, will you come and ascribe that to religion? I'm talking about what IPOP is doing. You see brothers killing brothers. Okay, so the sit-at-home that is going on Mondays in the Southeast that has almost crippled the economy of the Southeast is targeted at Christians or Muslims. So Nigeria has complex security situations, and we should actually go out there and educate people so that they will know what to do. But when they just come out with a one-sided motion, it means they have a target, and that target is to strangulate the economy of Nigeria. That's my personal opinion. So It's left to us as a parliament to take proactive actions and be strategic in our response. If we stay here to give figures and instances where Muslims were killed or where Christians were killed, then we are not helping the situation. Ours should be, what do we do to ensure what Senator Jimmy Ibrahim said, counter terrorism? How do we respond to the guerrilla tactics of the terrorists, whether internal or external aggressors? So let's go into the prayers. Is there anybody that is opposed to this? Some
nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Did you hear that? This is how they've trivialized it. Okay? We are all living witnesses for living witnesses of the Boko Haram rampage and their mission, which is purely about religion, how to turn Nigeria to a caliphate, which obviously a lot of people saw as a joke. How are you going to do that? When it comes to the Fulani terrorists, they are not taking land in Sokoto. They are those who are killing, in the complexity of what you just said, right? You have Lakurawa, you have ISWAP. The ISWAP, Lakurawa, and Boko Haram, they are about religion. So in their own way, every community they have been to that are Muslim communities, or those who are they're like Muslims, right? Most of them, we have seen videos, we have seen images, who have welcomed these guys, and somehow they have managed to avoid any form of a bloodshed there. But you see the Fulani terrorists, their own agenda, of course, it is not religion. Let's put that aside. However, their own target has been mostly the Christian communities, Christian towns, where people have had their churches burnt. Waiting concern Fulani, others, and burning down churches, burning down people's homes, and at the same time, settling down. In Kaduna, they have communities. The Fulani terrorists, after killing and ransacking the whole place, they renamed these communities. They appointed their own Seriki Fulani Emir or something in Kaduna. So they've had places where instantly, right? They've said that it's because of climate change that chased them from God knows where. So they needed to feed their cows. Nigerian government is suffering to give them or asking people to part with their land to pacify these murderers. So yeah, the complexity and the killings, put it that way, the killings of Nigerians should have been so concerning, so paramount, and probably the priority of any responsible government. You would agree, Abi? So if we don't want to go ahead with the narrative of Christians are being killed or jihadists and all of that stuff, fine. Nigerians are being genocided inside Nigeria by terrorists who have now become so established that the only solution the Nigerian government have is to pacify them, rehabilitate the terrorists, give them money, and then make peace deal with these terrorists. This is their own solution. Let us give them lands where we can give them lands. And these are people who have guns. They don't even have any cow. So yeah, we may not push the narrative of Christians and all that. If that is easier to get everybody to know that, talking about it alone, like they have always been doing, right, has shown so well enough, right? It has shown that Nigerians are on their own. You're on your own, whether you are Christian or a Muslim or whatever. To these guys, so you are on your own. But you trust that when it is politically convenient, they are going to fly the card that they are Muslims, they are Christians. You know that. Abi, here is Ndume, one of them, with Sheung. this evening?
No, no screening even. We are not even to do the screening. We are to do confirmation. You know what confirmation? Go and check. That's your problem.
Let me take you to why I invited you tonight.
Yeah.
You and your colleagues have decided that you are going to go to the United States and confront them. What will you be telling the lawmakers in the U.S.?
That what Ted Cruz and co said is not true. It's not true to say that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. It's not true. You know that it's not true. And thank God, you know, this thing came up from Ted Cruz, and it has been lingering around, dates back to 2020. And even it's, if in fact, Donald Trump in his first designated us as CPC. They call it CPC. That is country of particular concern, where a group of religious, believers of any type are being persecuted. That is the act, So that means sanctions would be applied. We had a feel of it when Nigeria wanted to buy the Tucanos. The Leahy, that time there was a Leahy law. It's now a retired senator, stopped us from there. It took the late president a lot of lobbying and some people to convince them that the terrorists have no religion concern about it. They just go about killing, and we needed the Tucanos. Fortunately, during the tenure of Joe Biden, that we were removed from the CPC list. What Ted and co are now trying to do because of the recent incidences in the country, and unfortunately again, when a particular reverend from Benue, went before the Congress, it started in the U.S. Congress before Ted Cruz case. Ted Cruz is coming up with a bill to design Nigeria specifically as CPC and also to impose certain sanctions. And this have far-reaching effect on not only Muslims, so to say, but Nigerians. Because that means as we are fighting this war, majority, almost all the things that we use at the Nigerian security, the Nigerian army and security agencies use come from overseas. We don't even manufacture a bullet in Nigeria. So you see, when you have sanctions against a country like that, when now even with those equipment, we're still battling with the issue of insecurity in the country, and it seems to be even spreading all over. So if you have that jack on this thing of clock of not having supply of what the armed forces need, I don't know. I don't want to imagine.
So it has a heavy implication. Not only our reputation, but our diplomatic relations.
But now, if you go to I don't know whether you're a citizen or not, but if you come into America and they see Sheun, they will start running a check, keep you, instead of you to spend like 15 minutes at the airport, it may take you a day, or it may not. You may not even be able to go in, because if they designate you as somebody of a particular concern or politically exposed, then.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú ó jọ má bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò má rárá.
You see, this is how social engineering works, okay? And politicians are actors. I'll keep reminding us, okay? They are actors. It is so convenient, right, to point fingers, and at the same time, to try to want to drive, what do you call it? Sympathy, kind of like a group sympathy, sort of. The actions of Nigerian politicians emboldened the terrorists in Nigeria, continues to embolden them, and the world sees it. There are those who have been fighting for the world attention that, listen, if to say Nigeria need help to fight these terrorists, that is not something out of place to say we need help. In fact, you could even seek this help by hiring mercenaries whose expertise is to face this kind of people for the sake of showing that at least you have the intention. But in Nigeria, they will tell you that it is complex. Okay? When Goodluck Jonathan was killing these terrorists prior to your 2015 elections, right? There were many of their clerics, politicians, including the APC, Egbekegbe at the time, that said Goodluck Jonathan was killing northerners to reduce their population. And so many other stupid things they actually popped up that time that they pushed it to America. Nigeria got an arms embargo. Stopped Nigeria from accessing the needed weaponry. And immediately Boko Haram came in. The first set of people he sacked and terminated the arrangement with Nigeria were the mercenaries. They were South Africans. He terminated them and sent them out of Nigeria with immediate effect. First day Boko Haram got to power in 2015. I don't know if some of you remember that anyway. And then the rest, they say, so if Nigeria need help, the right thing is for your government to seek every help they need. Specialists, everything, get rid of these guys. But would that be politically plausible? Is that going to be like a political landmine? So the lives of the people can then be used just for this political breakback. Your lives become the ping pong, right? The ball on the table. So America, that is kind of like using that to say, if you are not going to act, well, there is a way we can probably deal with you by first dealing with those of you that have been identified as sympathizers of this terrorist. Those of you who are their financiers. Those of you in government who have refused to actually act when it's mattered. And finally, those of you who are using your political office to push Sharia law in Nigeria, knowing very well that that seems to have been like settled. You've had a case where you have your Sharia north, where Sharia is being kind of like implemented alongside Nigeria law. Sharia law is supersedes Nigerian law in these places. People have been sentenced to death by Sharia courts for blasphemy. All of these archaic things for religion, they are ground for America and anyone out there. Plus all the same killings as well. They are enough for anybody to tap into that. So if you want them to stay off, then deal with the terrorists and stop enabling them. So, okay, you are as a Nigerian, they are going to scrutinize. Not today. Not be only your elite, your politicians are afraid of being screened and delayed at the airport. You as a Nigerian that's carrying that green passport and that travels very well, you don't know what it is like for you whenever you run into that kind of, that type of airport where they have to take you out and separate you from the rest of the travelers. Is that something new? And is that because of you or because of them? It is because of them. And them asking you to become emotionally attached to whatever America is trying to do to designate them. They won't even designate the terrorist as terrorist organization. These criminals won't even designate them as terrorists. I mean, if you designate them as terrorists and not calling them bandits, criminals, bandits, what do you mean criminals? These are terrorists. Burning people's houses, shooting and killing women and children, kidnapping people. No. And we all know how it all played out, how it all got to this stage. So before you blame America, just remember that, all right? Now let's go back into their streets. The retired policemen took their protested to their National Assembly today. And it is simply because they are tired of occupying the front of the police headquarters. They want the National Assembly to do something. Here is one of them in front of the National Assembly of Nigeria. Retired policemen, unpaid.
Nobody entered the National Assembly today.
don't know if I can say work hard or make you no gun they use your retirement, they sing, we no go grill, our own pension, we no go grill. Eh?
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man.
You get? Olubide Akinwumi. Thank you very much. I love you too, Baba. Appreciate that, all right? Thank you. And Adeyinka Alabi. Oh, God, you. So let me speak Ijebu then, all right? So Wosheo Adeyinka Omalabi. Eh? Ore makonsale Apo Shashamura. What if for Yembe? Apo Remagbel. Wosheo. Thank you. Going forward, the medical students of the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, they are called. They are currently also protesting what they call the increase in their own accommodation fee. So they took to the streets in Enugu today to protest that.
So every single one of us, we are currently marching to Dean's office. All of us, elite nurses, 027. You can see also, we came to write exam this morning. And then they said that we will not write this exam. All of us, they said we will not write this exam because of 30K developmental fee. There's already in our school fees after we paid. So you can see also, all of us, we are here. We are marching to Dean's office now to tell him that we came to write the exam and then they are preventing us from writing the exam. This is every one of us, so we are coming to Dean's office. We are coming to tell him that we came to write the exam. So they pursued us from our exam center. Everybody's coming up. We want to write our exam. We have paid our school fees. Every one of us, we have paid our school fees. Yes, we are here to write our exam. Every single one of us. See my classmates, they are coming up. We left the exam center. They left us there. We are here. We want to write our exam. We don't have any 30K to give these people. We don't have any 30K to give them.
Poor students. The school management wanted them to pay 30,000 naira developmental fee before they will be allowed to write their examinations, or else they won't. In Lagos, right? Their colleagues in Lagos, or should I say their colleagues in National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, they took their own protest to the front of Dangote Refinery in solidarity, by the way. They are protesting against Pengason's action of feud with Dangote, and to show their own kind of displeasure. So they condemned Pengason, and their leader or their spokesperson went on to praise Tifnubu. And Pengason want to use this thing to disrupt Tifnubu's plan. Tifnubu is doing everything to make life better for you, ungrateful Nigerians. I was like, what? Ungrateful Nigerians? Really? Aye. That's what he said.
Of Dangote as a personality, as well as other refineries in Nigeria. We are here to say enough is enough. We are here to say no to some unscrupulous elements, pitching tents with the opposition to create problem for the incumbent leadership of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man that is performing across border, a man that is doing the impossible for the ungrateful Nigerians, a man that has dedicated his life towards the upliftment of Nigerians. Today we are here to say no to sabotaging positive government moves towards ending the suffering and poverty of Nigerians.
Tell me, what are we producing and selling to other countries? Not even slippers. We eat the skin of our cows instead of turning them to beautiful bags and shoes. Eliminate that. It's a sign of poverty.
It's a sign of poverty. So that was from the dance. Who is doing everything to make your life better. You're grateful Nigerians. Grateful Nigerians. Sorry about that. So Tinubu is trying to make your life better. For the ungrateful Nigerians. So you are the ungrateful Nigerians. You got that? Ungrateful Nigerians. And they will not allow anybody to sabotage Dangote. Well, fair enough. Please don't. It's just that we don't know if this is the handiwork of a sabotage. Mr. Saboteurs sabotaging the market in Benin. Since this wahala about Iyaloja, right? It's been wahala every day. So I heard that there is a kind of a statement from the palace that has sort of nullified whatever Tinubu's daughter did a few days ago when she wanted to crown someone as Iyaloja of Benin or of Edo State, Iyaloja General, instead of Iyeki, which is the common title that is bestowed on the market women leader by the Oba of Benin himself. So, in the midst of all of that, last night, everywhere became somehow like there was a pandemonium, all right? Why? Oba market was on fire. Wish cry yesterday. A child died today. Is that also difficult as well to, or would he make, no, I would say, would that make it too ridiculous to say, now the wish we cry yesterday, and he killed the pikin this morning? I don't know, and I'm not insinuating. Oba market in Benin, Edo State, was on fire last night. Mysterious fire.
This ring road by this ring road of our market on fire again. That's our market on fire. This ring road, our market is on fire by a motor. The fire is much here. As you can see, time the fire brigade came very early. The fire is on.
The fire don't enter another stuff for them, no. No fire service they call Jesus. Hey, no every year this market go dey burn. Jesus. No fire service they call.
Jesus, oh, and I shoot they say, now close they say for that land, close, then they say for that land. Hey, God.
Sadly. So the fire service came, and I think they managed to remedy the situation from probably getting worse than it already was, right? I'm not saying anything. So I want to say thank you to every one of you again tonight. So let me tell you something. I was playing with this AI thing, right? So, and it's like turning pictures to videos, right? So I now chose some of my thumbnails. So I want to share that with you. It's funny. I even use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's one of his pictures in one of them, just random, nothing concrete. Yeah.
In our journey through life, we must embrace the wisdom of our traditions while looking forward to a future of unity. In our journey through life, we must embrace the wisdom of our traditions while looking forward to a future of unity.
Like I said, it was just random, right? So I'm probably going to try some more so that I could like make things up in a way that we could put our own originality into the ball. Just watch out. So thank you very much for your time. Please take a moment before you leave, right? So important. Like the broadcast, okay? Like it if you haven't already. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't as well. And I intend to see you again another time. Enjoy the rest of your evening or maybe your day, right? I will see you again. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun dayari Politico. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dayari